Greetings and salutations, everyone. My name is Andrew from Team Respawn, and this is the Banished podcast, episode number 3. I am joined by Ed Peter from Ed Peter and Nick from Breaking the Clutch.
Hello.
Hello.
This video, we're going to talk about the news and our speculations and thoughts on the new leaders announced for Halo Wars 2. Coming this month in July for Halo Wars 2, they announced that we're going to get Operation Spearbreaker, which is the couple of ODST missions that is part of the Season Pass that you get for free, and as well as the UNSC leader for this month, which is Serina. So we're going to go ahead and kind of break down those two kind of pieces of content, as well as what's coming in August, which is the grunt leader, Yap Yap. Firstly, let's go ahead and talk about Serina and kind of what we think her unique unit will be, as well as her powers. Ed, why don't you go ahead and start us off?
Well, like we've said between me and Andrew in the live stream videos, we both think that the Cobra should return. And I also think the Cryobomb should return, and I think the Hawk should return. And that brings me to the conclusion of Serina being an old character. She's going to come back with the old leader powers and units. That's what I want, and that is exactly what I think they're going to do, because we've not had a leader power which specifically targets air units, have we? Correct me if I'm wrong. Can't think of one, apart from Ghost in the Machine. But I think the Cryobomb would be a pretty good addition to the group of powers that we already have. And the Hawk, obviously, I can't think of a special air unit for the UNSC apart from the Phantom, but that's Banished. And then the Cobra, because everyone loves the Cobra.
Is there one in particular that you would want? Because I don't think you can put a Cobra and a Hawk in the same. 'Cause it seems like every leader gets like that one unique unit, and then the rest get pushed off. So which would you prefer?
I mean, Johnson got the Colossus and the Mantis.
That's all. I think that's all the same. That's just a bigger Mantis.
It's a Gundam.
It's a Gundam. Yeah, it's a hashtag Johnson Gundam. Or what was it, Andrew?
Gundam
hashtag...
Johnson gun or something.
That was it. Yeah, that was it. But no, I want to see both. But if I had to pick, I'd say the Hawk, just because we don't really have any special air units for the UNSC.
I would agree. I think the Hawk and the Cryobomb should make a return with Serina. She should reflect a little bit of Anders from Halo Wars 1. I don't care to see the Cobra return, at least with this one. I don't think it would fit properly if you were to get the Hawk and the Cryo. I just don't know why you would throw a Cobra in with that mix if you're going to focus strictly on air.
Right. Maybe she focuses on just anti-infantry, anti-air, anti-vehicle. Maybe she's kind of like an all-around anti-everything.
Take out the Hawk.
Leader. Pardon?
And take out the Hawk. The Hawk's not anti-air.
It's anti-vehicle. The Hawk, the railgun on the Hawk is anti-vehicle.
So you've got two anti-vehicles then. Yeah, well, you've got the Cobra already. You can't have both that.
You know,
you're getting a little greedy right there.
I'm greedy. I'm a greedy motherfucker.
We
I want
love
both.
the Cobras.
I was going to say, you guys want it for a Super Turtle, I assume.
Yes.
Because there was almost no use of it unless strategically in ones from Halo Wars 1 where I saw the Cobra used.
That's objectively wrong.
Okay, so it's a Super Turtle thing, because there's no one who uses Cobras.
You can put them, like we used to put them on, like you have 4 supply pads on your base, right? You put 1 Cobra next to each supply pad, so that's 4 Cobras next to your base. That is an unstoppable force when you've got like flamers around them, mate. Turtling is the most fun with Cobras.
So flamers,
having none of it, Nick.
Cobra.
You're not going to convince me otherwise. The Cobra is coming back.
A simple
I'm going to fly
Banshee.
to fucking Seattle. I'm going to beat the shit out of the 343 devs if they don't add Cobras. That's my...
You listening, Sketch?
You listen. You listen.
This sounds like assault, or a verbal assault at least. You're not getting both. I think you'll get the Hawk. I think you'll get the Cryo. Your Cobra idea sucks ass. Especially the way you're super turtling. I think that sucks ass too.
Thanks.
You just full pop Banshees on you. No problem. I actually think that, off topic real quick, Pat, myself should super turtle against you guys.
Ooh.
And we'll see who can last the longest in a super turtle game. But that's, no one take that video idea.
No one can take that video idea. Who would be
we'll
BTC?
we have two people who have BTC accounts.
Really?
One's like BTC nasty Nick, and then the other one's. But regardless, people can take these ideas, Ed. We need to put a stop on this now.
Yeah, we're not releasing this podcast until we've done that video.
Andrew, what do you want to see then?
I think the Hawk is the
Ed-
most logical unit, just because if you're looking back, the only leader that they've brought back from the past on the UNSC side is Forge. That was in another Halo Wars game. And for Forge, they did bring the Grizzly back, which is a Halo Wars 1 unit. So if you're going to think of that again for Serina, I would probably assume that they're going to do the Hawk, just because they've really focused on anti-infantry with Consano. They really focused on anti-vehicle with, well, I don't know, pretty much nothing. Well, I guess you could consider the Colossus and the Mantis a little bit of anti-vehicle.
And the EMP Mac, too.
Yeah, and the EMP Mac. So I think the only thing they haven't focused on yet is air, and I think the Hawk is probably just the best way to do it. Now, whether it would replace the Hornet completely or be a separate unit, I would assume that it would just replace the Hornet, just like the Grizzly just replaces the Scorpion tank and everything else. I don't think it's going to be that kind of unique unit that you would see with Anders, with the Sentinel being from your main base, and same thing with Jerome being the Macedon from your main base. I think it'll be its own replacement unit. And as for the ultimate power, I think the cryo bomb would be pretty cool, just because it targets air units and would put a different kind of thing of strategy around it. Like, let's say you just drop it on a Scarab or something. How would someone react to it? Will it still take out engineers or other air units instantly if you upgrade it? If you can upgrade it even. And, what other powers would it be cool with? Like, would it be too much of a cheese to drop a cryo bomb and then, like, an eradication or something? That's probably something that they're going to have to work out.
Ooh, maybe the eradication melts the ice and then things can move.
Maybe. I don't know.
I actually have something to bring up with Serina, which I've been thinking quite a lot about, actually. What sort of hero would she have? I suggested something which I'm going to suggest again. For Jerome, I thought Red Team's Warthog would make a really good hero unit, and I can't think of anything else apart from Red Team's Warthog that would work for Serina. And if you guys do, fill me in, because I really can't.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think they'll do a Warthog because they did that with Forge, and I don't think they'll do any more Spartans because they've done like 90 Spartans so far.
Yeah, they've kind of exhausted that one.
I mean, I could see like maybe something like a Rhino, because she did mess with Rhinos in Halo Wars 1. But granted, that would be way too similar to a Kodiak, so I really don't know what her ultimate hero would be. I would assume that they would just take the Consano route and just kind of make up an ultimate unit.
Or maybe an elephant.
Yeah, I could see
You're
that.
asking for a lot.
You're
a unit that's an elephant? Yeah. Now, would this elephant also train units?
Yeah, totally.
Oh
This
my
is
God.
coming from the guy that still believes that Halo 3 Anniversary is still going to happen.
I was going to say, didn't you make a video where you think that that's going to happen at Gamescom or something?
Hey. I didn't dedicate the whole video to saying Halo 3 Anniversary was coming out. I just mentioned it.
That was the highlight, though.
It was the highlight, yeah. But hey, you'll all be fucking wondering what the fuck when it gets announced. Don't you? Oh, Ed was right. I'm right about a lot of things.
You want the Hawk, you want the Elephant, and you want the Cobra, all with Serina. And how confident are you that all four of these are going to happen? And how mad are you when none of the four happen?
I mean, I'm not going to be mad because we're getting a new leader. I'm happy about that. But I predicted that the Halo collection was going to be backwards compatible, and I was right. Yeah, so I'm going to be right about. I don't know where the logic is in that, but just I want to see these things.
He was right once.
Loads of other people do. Yeah, I was right that one time, so I'm right this time.
Well, regardless, eventually soon, I would say the next week or so, because we're already in the middle of July, so probably any day now we're going to figure out more details about Serina, and who knows, maybe they'll even announce that before this podcast even goes up, which would make me very ill and borderline vomititious. Yeah.
Vomititious.
Let's talk a little bit about Operation Spearbreaker. This is the couple. They said there are 2 campaign missions where you control some ODST squads or units or something, and you fight a quote great banished threat or something along those lines. Do you think that takes place before, during, or after the events of Halo Wars 2?
Well, that's a good. So if I'm gonna take where Halo 3 ODST was That was a Halo 2, right? It was right between Halo 2 and 3. That's
It
how they did
was
that route.
right after Halo 2 where the ships
It
went
was
through the
during
portal.
Halo Wars 2.
Okay, so
No, it was during Halo 2.
between the two.
That's what I just said.
No, you
So
said, thanks.
if they're gonna bring the ODSTs back again and do it, if they keep the theme of them, then I'm gonna say this is before. I think I'm gonna say it's between Wars 1 and Wars 2.
Now, you see, I think it's just part of the Halo Wars 2 campaign. I think it's just one of the little things
Some
that
add-on.
happened while they
Very end.
were on the Ark. Yeah, I really do think it's just that.
I think
because-
it'll take place after, actually.
Yeah,
How far
well,
after?
I guess we'll find out. But
Yeah.
chances are it's going to be just one of the missions that happened when they were on the Ark. That's what I'm predicting anyway.
You think it connects at all to the Nightmare, Awakening the Nightmare DLC?
No.
I think these are just
Possibly.
totally isolated.
I think it's totally isolated because,
You think it's isolated from the main campaign too?
yes.
Okay.
I think
I'll be interested to see what they do
I-
because
you
Go on,
can't
Andrew.
tell a long story in 2 missions, you know? Like,
Yeah, that's a good point.
you
I
can't
keep
just...
talking over everyone because there's a slight delay. I will apologize.
Yeah. You
It's
can't
just the
just
Brit in
bring
you.
it into the Awakening of the Nightmare DLC because then you're going to have the assumption that they're going to get the DLC, which not everyone's going to do. And I don't think you can turn it into the Halo Wars 2 storyline because I think that'll overcomplicate that storyline. And then you got to make the assumption that not everyone has the season pass. Therefore, I think the only way to really assume is it's going to be its own tiny little storyline where you're not even going to I don't even think you're going to hear Captain Cutter's voice or any other leaders. I think you're just going to hear the ODSTs talking to each other as they kind of go through, and they're kind of maybe like the communications are down or they're isolated or something, and they have to figure it out on their own. I think that's the best way to tell a good story in 2 campaign missions.
I would thoroughly enjoy that if it was completely isolated. But 343 has been known to shit on people in the past. They could end up connecting it towards like a prelude to Awakening the Nightmare, and then say, well, maybe you should have bought the DLC before. I mean, I can see that as it's like a marketing tactic of sorts. I hope they don't go that route. I hope it's isolated and completely separate from both Awakening and the main campaign. But I could still see 343 pulling out that card.
Yeah, I definitely agree that they could use it as like a connective between the two. But I would be quite well. The only time we've seen ODSTs kind of like be center stage is ODST, right? Halo 3 ODST, and that was quite a character. Yeah, it was a really good game. It was a character-driven plot, and I think if they did something similar, like introduced us to a squad of ODSTs, like 3, 4, maybe 5 of them, and kind of do it with blur cinematics. I don't know if we're getting blur cinematics,
No,
but if
you're
they
not
did,
getting that with this.
No, you're probably
so
just
here's
giving
me
some
asking
audio.
for too much again. Is that
Yeah.
what this is?
Maybe
But-
the ODSTs will have an elephant to follow them.
It's all in-engine cutscenes, I bet you.
And cobras
Yeah.
dropping from the sky from hawks. Right. Yeah. Okay. But I think in an ideal world, I'd want it with blur cinematics, and I would want them to introduce a nice little squad of ODSTs for us to get to know. But
Reason
we'll-
why they shouldn't do that is because in 2 missions you are not going to get attached to any character. You're not. I think it would be a waste unless this was like just an epic 2 campaign mission thing where you see them and then they die for some cause, like immediately. That's the only way I can see. If they keep them alive, no one's going to give a shit.
That's
Right,
true.
It
I
would
would be
get rid of the
surprised.
blur cinematics anyways.
I would be surprised even if the ODSTs got names. I think it would just be a couple
I
of
think that-
ODST squad units, and it would be like,
That would be shite.
Commander Smith or something like that. It'll be kind of like what was the name of that girl who piloted the Falcon in Halo 1? Echo 419. It'd be something like that, where it's just some minor character you don't give a damn about if they die or not.
I
That
give a damn
character.
about Echo 419.
Echo 419 lost their life to save us.
Andrew.
Keep us. Jesus.
Andrew.
They probably talked
I'm
about
sure.
the whole
I think-
storyline in one of the damn books, didn't they?
We're both
Yeah,
disappointed in you.
Halo Echo 419. It was a great novel.
It was.
Guys, let's get this in there. What about Echo 419 being a DLC leader? No, I'm joking. Carry
No,
on.
I'm calling it right now. That's the play. You get a Pelican,
Master Chief's the hero unit.
and then that would be twisted.
So let's move on to the final piece of this week's podcast, which is talking about the grunt leader, Yap Yap. Um, I saw this one coming from a mile away because everyone on Twitter was really talking about this, and I'm gonna bet the farm that the ultimate hero unit for the grunt leader here is just a grunt mech unit, kind of similar to the Kinsano Cyclops or something like that.
Yeah, currently in
Oh,
Halo
def-
5 Warzone, they have a grunt mech as a boss. So I imagine they literally take that and
Yep.
paste it into this.
I agree.
No question on that.
I agree.
Yeah, I
This is
can't
where
think
they
of
trick
anything
everything up and they put Master Chief as the hero unit for Yap Yap.
Yeah.
Any speculation on powers?
What did cross my mind, because he's a grunt, is that something interesting could be done with getting a lot of units out on the battlefield quickly. So I was thinking, kind of like Kinsano's thing, where new units have what's it called? New units have a buff for a short amount of time. I can kind of imagine that sort of thing being done, because you can build grunts really quickly and you can get a lot of them out fast. And I can kind of imagine it emphasizing, mass population really quickly, something along those lines, but I'm not sure. I can't think of anything that.
So you think it would be a rush unit then?
Yeah, quick, fast attacks that are kind of expendable. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because with what you're saying, then the leader wouldn't be useful any time past the 5-minute mark, 6-minute mark.
Right. Yeah.
So I mean, Andrew, if Ed's correct, then that means 343 might be pushing a rushing agenda, and I don't know how you personally feel about that. But if they do these grunts is Ed, like you're saying, one of these ass pop units, I say maybe bring back the Deacon grunts, Deacon grunts.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Halo Wars 1.
Yeah, I
didn't
said
mean to
that in
take your talking
my
point.
video. You've probably
No,
stolen
you
it,
didn't.
Nick. No,
Don't think you
Whoa.
did.
Ed, I don't think you actually said that, but
I did. True
Nope.
to your name, you have nicked the idea.
liar. Andrew, why don't you go ahead then? What do you wish for? Because I think Decon grunts would be a good
Yeah.
introduction.
I was gonna say the Deacon grunts because I think that would be. It really needs to focus on grunts, so maybe something to where along the lines of maybe instead of getting its own unique style unit, maybe you could have some sort of passive power, or maybe it's just a constant thing where vehicles have an increase in speed and damage, but lower hit points or something, because as you know, the grunts are terrible pilots and drivers and things like that in the Halo games. Or I'd be interested to see if, because the Covenant or the Banished, I should say, don't have turret drops. So I think it'd be kind of cool if you could just drop in a shade turret, and a grunt can hop on there and, use that. I think that would be kind of cool.
It's a really interesting idea.
That's a really cool idea.
Or maybe it's like a phantom, or that drops in. Not a phantom. What's the other one called? A spirit drops in with a shade turret and a couple of grunts, and that's like one of its powers or something. I think that would be pretty cool. I'm really not sure. I know they'll come up with something creative, because when they did Colony, I was like, how in the world are they going to make something cool out of Hunters of all things? And lo and behold, they did. And Colony, in my opinion, is one of the best Banished leaders in the game. And I'm pretty sure they'll do something pretty cool for the grunts. We'll just have to wait and see. We're a little bit ways out from hearing more about it.
God, you keep speaking. The delay's really getting to me.
Yeah. Thanks.
every time you sound like you're finishing speaking, a little more sentence comes out. And I'm like, God damn it. Yeah, kind of like coming off what you said about the Phantom or the Spirit drops. In Blitz, I almost forgot the name of it. I've played it that amount. There's a card called the Grunt Mob where you can drop like 3 or 4 grunt squads, and I think we're probably going to see a leader power which is akin to that. Kind of like you drop the Colony drop with Colony, but with grunts. I'm almost certain. I'm 90% certain that is going to be a thing. You drop a ton of grunts onto the battlefield from spirits. That's the only definite thing that I'm going to predict.
You see them taking it any other route? Like they bring in a specific unit that's not grunt related?
I mean, like jackals maybe, but like in the damn books, Andrew, the jackals poison the grunts, so I don't think they have the best relationship in the lore. But no, I'm serious. That actually happened. But
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, yeah. I just don't know. I think it's like Andrew said, it's a bit of a curveball, kind of like the colony was, but they pulled that one out of the bag, so maybe they can do the same.
I think a really big missed opportunity for a leader, if they were to stretch it out for one more banished leader, was what Ed said a few weeks ago, was Tartarus. I think he would be sick because he kind of fits the whole banished kind of look and feel, and probably is one of the guys who sets the stage for all the other brutes to get all pissed off and form the banished anyway.
The only beef I think people would have with that is you already have 2 brute units or leaders.
Technically, you have 3 with Decimus.
I'm thinking of Decimus and Aatrox, who's the third.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
I mean,
Can't do math.
isn't Awakening the Nightmare coming out with 2 brute leaders?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
I'm
right.
almost certain that you're correct. So if you want to add that on top, that would be 5 brute leaders. I think 4 already is too much
So how do we know that one of those isn't going to be Tartarus?
because I think it derives right from the campaign. Unless Tartarus survived the events of Halo 2
Which he
and
didn't.
has made it all the way to the Banished. Well, you could have pulled a Didact and just fell. If you would have read the books, Andrew, he fell in a hole after Chief punched him with that Forerunner grenade. He fell into a hole, slip space. He got put into another place, and he's all good. He's still alive. They could have done something with Tartarus on that.
Maybe.
Well, be sure to post your thoughts of all the new Halo Wars 2 DLC coming very soon in the comments down below. And we will find out very shortly here what the details for both Operation Spearbreaker and Serina will be. And you can expect on all 3 of our channels, Breaking the Clutch, Ed, Peter, and Team Respawn, that we will do...
Guys, Sketch just tweeted, elephants, cobras, and hawks.
No.
All right.
Get out of here. Well, before we end, can we assume that this DLC is coming out July 31st? Because I know there's going to be questions on that. The very last day is when you will get it.
Yeah,
Probably.
I mean, it's definitely going to be the last week of the month, and honestly, they really shouldn't even count it for the July DLC. That doesn't really
July
make a lot of sense.
31st, August 1st, that's when you're getting it right there. I'll ask that question. It's already done.
There will be a problem downloading it, just let you know ahead of time, because that happens.
All of your friends will have it, but you won't have it. You'll have to uninstall your game and reinstall your game. I mean, it's the same thing,
Yep.
just chill.
So be
We'll get
prepared.
it August 2nd,
And
2025.
yeah, so I guess that about does it for episode 3 of the podcast. We will be back next week. Thanks for watching. I'm Andrew, and that's everyone else.
Wow. Unless we get canceled.
Thanks.
I thought you were going to say at least unless we get cancer, then I was going to fucking hell, that's a bit harsh. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
No, really.